Hello to everyone. Let me introduce myself. So I'm the principal security architect at Halborn. Apart from doing internal audits on the company, I'm also taking care of doing estimations and initial recons on some of the projects that are coming to Halborn. Apart from that, I'm also developing tools for the company, such as BVSS and also Seraph. Thank you for the great demo before, Steve. And well, let's start with the topic itself. As you may know, well, basically it's the reason because we are here. The blockchain security and also the space has been evolving a lot during those recent years. And it is expected to keep growing on the future. So basically, on the security side, we also have facing a lot of difficulties and also growth on the space. It has not been easy for us to try to figure out a way to help all the teams and all the clients to speed up their security posture. Let's dig into the actual challenge that the clients are facing. As you may know, well, we have the standard software development phases. I will try to simplify that into 4 steps, which can be designing the product, then building it, then testing it, and then maintaining it, right? So Halborn can be part of any of those processes. You can call us for the design phase. You can call us during the testing phase. You can call us even during the production phase. All of this code, and since we have a really fast and evolving space, has been really hard for the companies to track all the vulnerabilities and issues that are popping up, okay? So when you identify an issue or a vulnerability in the code, you have like multiple different phases and ways for you to decide what you will be doing with this issue, okay? So if you see a vulnerability, what you can do is this vulnerability capable of being remediated? If so, then you have to apply the fix, okay? You just apply the fix, you validate during the testing phase, and also make sure that that issue will not be showing up anymore, okay? But what if you cannot really fix the issue? You can also mitigate the issue. But what happens with mitigation? You will have to keep track of this issue later on during the maintaining process. Otherwise, some more harder and worse issues can pop up into the system. What about if you can not even mitigate the risk? Well, sometimes we have been facing a lot of clients that they have like a specific due date for their project to be released, and they can just not fix it on time. So basically, they accept the risk. Well, you can put that on your backlog, and also during the maintaining phase, you can just bring it back and try to solve the issue, okay? Let's now talk about BVSS and where this fits on, okay? So during all this complex phase, you need to somehow prioritize the issues that are really important to you, okay? So we have seen that CVSS, which is the standard way of now up to date trying to categorize the severity of those issues, is not something that is really working on the blockchain side, okay? So we have seen, for example, some of the metrics such as vectors, like local and remote, this doesn't apply on-chain projects, okay? So BVSS is basically addressing all of these issues and concerns. We are trying to provide like a standard way of categorizing the severity of those issues. For BVSS, we decided to go with 3 different group of metrics, which are exploitability, impact, and coefficient severity, okay? Let's talk about exploitability first, okay? First, exploitability, well, basically, it's the probability of a bug of affecting your system, okay? We have decided to go with 3 internal metrics, which is attack origin. So anyone can just trigger the issue, or some specific addresses can trigger the issue. The attack cost is how costly it is the issue to be really exploitable and launched on chain. And also the complexity, if it does involve just calling a function or even creating like a really complex exploit with multiple parameters and calls. Let's talk about impact. This is probably one of the biggest ones and also one of the most similar to the CVSS one. Okay? We have decided to go with the standard confidentiality, availability, and integrity like CVSS has. But also, we wanted to introduce like 2 new metrics, which are deposit and yield. This really makes the purpose of this system being specific to blockchain. Let's now talk about coefficiencies. As you may know, on CVSS, there is some specific temporary vectors which are applied only to some specific projects. On our case, on blockchain, you know that you can also upgrade some contracts or even deploy new versions of those contracts. So that's why the reversibility metric is in place. Okay? So how hard it will be to get back to the initial state of the issue. Scope, basically unchanged it or change it. On blockchain, since we have like a DeFi protocols and so many interactions going on, there is a way for you to decide if this metric will be affecting just your project or it is expanding to other projects on the ecosystem. So creating BVSS was not something quite easily initially. During 4 years at Halborn, we had so many findings and so many issues. We had to go to thousands and thousands of issues and doing some statistics and analytics. What we did was we tried to plot all of those issues into a diagram. You can see on the right, on the top right corner, the diagram. So basically, most of the issues were landing on the low severity side, some of them on the medium side. More or less, it is like a normal distribution, but shifted a little bit on the left side. So the idea was all the previous metrics, we specified like a coefficient, and these coefficients are being added depending on the group. So exploitability, it is the left side formula. Impact, it is the medium formula. And also the coefficiency as well. The total metric and value of the severity is specified with the right formula. Okay? So at the end, you see that the distribution will end up being like the diagram on below. So you have most of the issues landing up on the low severity, some of them landing on the medium severity, and also some of them on the high and critical severity. Okay? So at Halborn, what do we do? So basically, when we find an issue, we need to follow a process to really identify what will be the severity of this finding. So we try to collect technical details. This can involve creating your proof of concept, creating your exploit, and trying to understand what the issue really is. Okay? We identify the business context. This is really important because some of the metrics, as you have seen, are really specific to some projects. You need to be aware if they will be having a centralized ownership or they will be using like a complex project that doesn't have like anyone managing it. Then we analyze the previous concepts and try to understand using our VVSS what will be the severity. We plug in and make sure that all the metrics are matching and fitting in. And then we just basically send that to our clients. Okay? This will help the client prioritize the issues. So basically, as we have discussed, VVSS is really amazing for blockchain. It is specific and built for the blockchain. Okay? It has some comprehensive metrics. Those metrics are already specified and really defined on how and where should be facing. Also, as we said, it helps the clients prioritize those issues during the remediation and maintaining phase of the software development. And yeah, basically helps the clients allocating the resources. So now I will be moving to a demo on the VVSS. If we now move to the halborn.com.vvss, you will have access to the same calculator that we are using internally to classify the severity of the issues. You can play around on any of the specific metrics. You can even you can even have some help on what the metrics really is. And if you want to go and play a little bit around, the idea is that Halborn will be using that for every single on-chain engagement. And we are really proud to try to be the standard on the blockchain ecosystem and have our own VVSS calculator public to everyone to test and see. So I think that's all from my side. If you have any questions regarding any of the metrics and the process of building the VVSS, I will be around, so you can ask me any questions that you may have.